Tonight at 9:30pm GMT over on the Omegon Plays channel and on Twitch, I shall be hosting an American Truck Simulator stream. We shall be mostly driving through California, which is going to be slow. The speed limits, man, they're just... yeah. Link to the Omegon Plays YouTube channel and Twitch down below. Now today we're going to talk about something that for some odd reason has dragged on for 5 years. A case involving parents who did something they should never have done, showed intent, showed malice, showed a complete lack of consideration for what they had created, something which they summarily lost because of their own selfishness. And somehow it ended up with them not yet getting quite the sentence or the charges I believe they should have gotten. So this is Luke Morgan and this is Emma Cole. They were found guilty, recently, of allowing and causing a death. Usually with the words causing a death, there is a word for it. Considering the circumstances, that word is quite appropriate. So I'm not entirely sure how murder wasn't what they were charged with, considering what they had been doing to the child in the first place. Oh, sorry, spoiler. They had a child, and before the child died, the kid was only 9 weeks old. The couple had, since the child's birth, had a number of issues, as most couples do, especially when you're very young. This was 5 years ago, and at the time, Luke Morgan was 21, Emma Cole was 17. The inevitable problems of, how are we going to pay the bills, comes to mind. Not that it is in any way an excuse. Once you create a life, your life is over. That's how I look at it. My view has always been, the moment you have a child, your lives, what you enjoy doing for yourselves, are done. You don't get hobbies, and your child is certainly not a hobby either, so to those parents who do that, fuck you. Now for a number of weeks leading up to this kid's death, because of the stresses they were facing because of their own stupidity, they took some of their anger out on the child, going so far as to put lemon on the kid's tongue. 9 weeks old, the palate is hardly capable of withstanding it. Or one of those chilied crisps, because of course children at 9 weeks old are renowned for loving Monster Munch flaming hot. When the kid was assessed, initially it was believed the kid had died due to cot death, which is what I believe they have managed to fob this off as to an extent. But a little investigation revealed human bite marks and broken ribs. So not only had this child been tortured and subjected to somewhat obscene abuse, the kid was maimed, beaten, by a pair of people, and this is a direct quote, because the man wanted to have sex but couldn't because the 9-week-old baby Tyler was too busy crying. I'm sorry, I didn't realise you emptying your ball sack was so important to you. I would have thought you'd learnt the lesson from months ago, you know, when you knocked up the 17-year-old tool. What was known is that while the couple were having a drunken argument on the night of this, which was confirmed by neighbours who noticed this, there was a delay between contacting the emergency services and when Tyler was smothered. Oh, I forgot to mention that as well. Yeah, Tyler was smothered because Tyler was crying, and that's how you deal with a crying baby. You impatient, petulant fucks. I'm not even a parent, and I know how to deal with this. It's not rocket science. A kid is crying. Your attention is no longer on your own selfish needs, you fuckheads. Your attention should immediately go from your ballsack and straight on to caring for the child, who can be calmed down with a little bit of patience. I mean, you waited 9 weeks. What was another 30 minutes? Morgan and Cole were initially charged of murder and manslaughter, but were cleared of those charges and instead found guilty of child cruelty. But as earlier stated, I'm not convinced they should have been cleared of murder. But I'm sure somebody in the comments below will get really uppity about me saying that and get really, really anal on semantics. Understand this. I know the difference and I'm very much aware of it. Thank you for your contribution. Something that has bugged me from the start of this video and when I first saw the article was the fact that it took 5 years to get to this point. Meaning that in that time Morgan and Cole have been able to live their lives. Yes, okay, pending charges and all of that, and investigations may have hampered their career success. However, what on earth took you 5 years to work out? Criminal justice system? Hello? Were you too busy masturbating again? Are you listening to my videos? If you are, stop it. Take your hand off your todger, or off the vibrator, or both, and do your damn job. Something I believe may have affected what they were charged with was the fact that some of the photos that were shown have been described by pathologists as probable bite marks. So naturally, the charges are weakened. I'm glad they managed to get child cruelty to stick, and causing the death of a child, although I kind of think they're more than likely going to go down the probation and suspended sentence route based on something the judge said, so this is entirely injustice on the face of it. 2 people created a child, that's the fact. Those 2 people couldn't handle the fact they had a child because they've never heard of an abortion or adoption. They brought a child into this world and treated that child with nothing but malice and hate. My view on this is quite simple. You are unworthy. I do not believe you should be allowed the freedoms that you currently have, and should spend a lengthy amount of time in a prison cell or an ISO cube, whichever's easier to get to. I should probably go get my Judge Moist outfit for this, because it is incorrect sentencing, kind of. These 2 have not actually been sentenced yet, and that won't happen until, I believe, the 22nd of June, which I am damn well going to mention when it happens. Because honestly, I kind of want to see what happens. Perhaps we should place some of those rather nasty things you did to your child on you. But first we'll scrape a few layers off your tongue first before we put the lemon juice on. And instead of chili crisps, it will just be a full-sized California Reaper. One thing I have noticed, and do notice, is that when these kind of subjects come up, there's always going to be more people saying we should raise the age of consent. We should perhaps increase the sentencing for those who commit horrible acts against children. And a whole host of other discussions come up about the subject of abortion, adoption, and of course the responsibility of children, education, sex education. It goes on and on and on. I'm not going to be drawn into any of that, except for one of them, the sentencing. I personally believe this should be considered murder, and I believe Emma Cole and Mr. Morgan should spend a significant amount of time behind bars for it. Because of your actions, you took away someone from this world that had the potential to be something great, but you, being the selfish fucks that you are, ended that life. You are responsible for that, and you should be punished because of that. It should not be a weakened sentence because of causing the death. Anyway, as I can hear my sisters making a considerable amount of noise in the landing, I'm going to end this video before I go off on one. On them more than likely. Seriously. The complete lack of volume control is actually starting to piss me off. So if I don't see you tonight over on the Omegon Plays channel, I hope you all have a lovely Tuesday, and thank you all for listening. I'm going to go kill them now.